servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation tapes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramon, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I'm thrilled to have you join us today. The podcast is dedicated to exploring the idea of doing business and living life with a purpose, serving others, and yes, achieving success. You're going to know a lot about business and life today because my guest is unbelievable. We believe that when we approach our work and our lives with a servant's heart, we can truly make a difference. We created this show for you because we want everyone to be motivated, inspired, and educated to make an impact in your world. Whether you're an entrepreneur, community leader, or simply someone looking to bring more purpose into your daily life, this podcast is here to support and uplift you. Now, while listening to the show today, my guest, pad and paper, please have it out. I have mine out. You're going to be taking notes. I want you to think about how you're going to serve today and what impact you'll create today. The key word there is today, not tomorrow. Today's episode is brought to you by our amazing sponsor, Pantheon Alliance. Picture yourself joining an elite community of thriving business owners for a variety of industries, all working together to create a powerful referral marketplace. It's an incredible opportunity to expand your network and elevate your business into new heights. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and I'll get you more information. With that being said, there's a lot of coaches out there and it's a word used a lot, and there's some great ones, and I'll just leave it at that. But when you have somebody who's been doing this for 29 years, you want to sit down and listen. Hey, Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. I want to talk about why do you do what you do?
My core purpose is to help as many people in a positive way as I can before I pass on. It used to be to help at least 300. And the people tell me now, well, you're way over that. So I took the limit off.
I love it. Yeah, there's no cap on that. You think there's a cap and then you
Right.
blow it right off.
Right.
So coaching, what is one thing that you've learned over 29 years that people really make mistakes with in their business?
Oh boy, it's amazing what people can do to shoot themselves in the foot. The one thing I've seen that comes to mind is not downsizing fast enough when you lose a lot of sales. You have to do that. If you hold on to the people, they're just an expense, and you're going to need the cash to keep the company alive.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's because you're fearful. I had to do that in my business at one time, and you're right, it was scary, but you're absolutely always the best thing that I could do.
Yeah.
What's one thing that, you work with groups, we were talking before the show, that you educate? What's one or two things you really like that just really gets you out of bed that you educate people about?
What gets me out of bed is I love going to a coaching session with somebody that's really into it, that appreciates what we're doing and is willing to grow and try things. I love to work with CEOs that learn something and they put it into use in their business. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning, is watching these people become amazing leaders.
Can you tell us a story? You have thousands, I'm sure, hundreds. You got a story off the top of your head you could tell us of somebody you worked with and educated and they grew?
I would never say I educate anybody.
Okay.
All I do is just ask good questions. I found out a long time ago that if I'm the one that's trying to bring value to the conversation, I'm probably not bringing value to the conversation.
Right.
It's all about the person I'm coaching and listening to them with deep, deep intensity, so that they can say whatever they want to say. And I just try to ask questions that can help them think about the situation.
And take that a little deeper when you're asking questions. You're helping them think, but what are you also doing when you're asking the question?
So I've been doing this so long that I've seen so many different businesses do so many things, so many different ways, that I often have a question that they hadn't thought of. You know, what if you do it this way? What if this would happen? What if have you thought about this? Those kind of questions gets thought going and gets them looking at new ways to do it, new ideas. And then, I'm a Vistage chair, so I run those same members in a peer advisory group, so they can take those thoughts and go to the group and present it to the group and get the group's input. So listening to 13 or 14 other CEOs tell you their experiences really gives you a leg up.
And it makes it all peer too, because now the peers are talking to peers. So there's more ability to listen and understand and believe, hey, this happened to me and this happened to me. So there's more synergy.
Right. The people I'm coaching, if they have to come up with the ideas, because that's the only way they're going to do anything with it. If I come up with the ideas and say, hey, you should do this, I saw this, why don't you go do this? They're going to blow me off. Frankly, they won't take it anyway.
Yeah. And then they'll leave, and then you won't be able to help them, which is your whole goal.
Right.
So a lot of coaching programs out there, and we talked about Vistage. Tell us a little bit about Vistage and what it's about and its goals and mission.
Yeah, Vistage is a company that's been around for 67 years. It's been in this business for that long. We have been growing steadily for that amount of time. It's just an interesting story where a guy had it in Milwaukee. He sold the license to a couple of guys from California. I guess it was the license for the United States, except for Florida, Michigan, and Wisconsin, where he'd already sold licenses, and New Mexico. So they went out and started talking to business owners and CEOs and building peer groups. And then they started hiring people like me to run the groups. We're not employees, we are contractors to them to do the work. And it's just grown and grown. We got to about 30,000 members, I think, in the United States here. And then we bought a company in Scandinavia that does the same work we do, and picked up another 15,000 over there. Vistage is in 35 countries. We have roughly 45,000 members now.
What you probably know other coaching programs. I'm sure you run to other coaches. What do you think makes Vistage different than some of these other programs?
We bring in outside speakers, to 8 of the 12 meetings a year. And there's speakers that you would see on us giving I can't remember, a speech at a convention or something. They're the tops, and we fly them in from around the country. They may fly into Denver to just be in my groups. I'll have them do my CEO group and my key executive group, which is direct reports to the CEOs.
Right.
So
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was going to say they get cutting edge business information all the time, and ideas on how they can put it in their business and why it's effective, and discussions that will really help them grow their business.
What do you think the Vistage's superpower is, if you could pick a superpower?
It's the chairs. It's the people like me that do the work. We're totally dedicated to our members. In the United States, I think there's about 700 of us doing the work. In Colorado, we have about 30 now. And we are dedicated to our members. We're dedicated to their success. Most of us are past business owners, so that we have experience being in the seat. And it's why I do the work. I want to affect these businesses and these leaders in a positive way. And I've been doing it for 29 years, so I must like it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't mean too many people have done something 29 years that loved it. I didn't love it, excuse me.
Right.
So you have a story off the top of your head of one of your clients that you work with and the success story, what happened?
Yeah, I started the one I'm most, well, I wouldn't say most proud of, the one that sticks out, there's a bunch of them, is a guy that had a company where he made cleaning products. And he started out with an orange oil based cleaning product in spray bottles. And when I met him, he was working out of a little warehouse here in Denver. And he was filling these bottles out of a 55-gallon barrel drum where he had a pump, and he was pumping each bottle full himself. And I think he had one other employee. He got on the Home Shopping Network. They loved the product, sold a bunch of it. So they kept getting more and more product from him, and he just had to increase his capacity. So he took the steps to do that. He outsourced. He never really went into the actual manufacturing, but he outsourced the product and the bottle filling and all that. And that was his mantra, just outsource everything. And he got it up, and he started selling into Walmart. Because of his success on TV, it was easy to get into Walmart and Bed Bath & Beyond and Ace Hardware and all these places. And then he introduced a product that was a powder that you add to your wash, and it cleans like crazy. He was a guest at my house at a party, and we had Peter Schutz as a guest. He was a speaker in town at that time for my groups. He was the past CEO of Porsche in Germany.
Oh yeah.
American guy. And the guy came over, my member came over, and where he was sitting on the couch, he took a glass of red wine and poured it on my wife's white carpet in front of him. And everybody went into shock. And he said, let me show you something. And he went and mixed up some of his product in water, warm water, came out and cleaned it up and got all the wine out of the carpet. It was just amazing. Peter ended up buying a case of the stuff.
Great salesman.
Yeah, so that's the guy was there, and then he grew the company. He got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I got a call one night, I think, and he said, I just want you to know that I just sold my company for a lot of money. I mean, triple digits, 300, right between 200 and 300 million dollars. And so that's what I do the work for. It was an amazing thing to watch him. He was a brilliant marketer, a brilliant leader. And that's just one of the stories.
And what you did with him is teaching some, maybe outsourcing some of these things he didn't know.
Right.
You said, hey, try these things. I think this will help you. And years later, he's a 300 millionaire or 200, whatever that is. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an incredible story, Bob.
Yeah. And it wasn't just me. It was the group. They're the ones that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I appreciate you saying that, because I always say, you can't work alone, work in a community or a team,
right,
or a group, whatever word you call it. It's much better than trying to do this stuff alone.
Right.
And too many entrepreneurs do that, right? They try to work alone.
Right. Absolutely.
And so if you're an entrepreneur out there, this would be a great place for them to at least look at, especially if they have a product or a service that, like this gentleman with the orange soap, I'll call it that.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it would be a good benefit, because you guys really scale people.
Right.
Wow.
Absolutely. We enable the companies to grow much faster. I think during the pandemic, companies that were members grew at about 4.5%, at a higher rate of 4.5% than other companies grew during that time.
Wow, that's impressive because we all know what happened when COVID came in.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think when it comes to a business? And you guys really probably don't do marketing, but like this guy, how can somebody look in the mirror and go, I need help? How would you navigate that?
Well, sometimes it's people that know they need help, and they will get in touch with me or somebody that like me that does the work. And usually it's the people that apply to my group that don't need the help. They know they've got a long way to go, and they want to be much better leaders, and they want to grow their companies and be very successful. As far as help, they're running a reasonably good business.
Yeah. What do you think the most important thing is of coaching?
In coaching is listening. Yeah. You have to be a fantastic listener.
I ditto that. Podcasting has taught me that. It's changed my life. And audience, that's $1 million tip. Seriously, like this gentleman with the orange, this could be $1 million tip for you. It's hard for humans. We want to interject our ego, our information.
Right.
Yeah, and I say shut up and listen, because we can shut up, but are we really listening?
Yeah. I do not bring people with big egos into my group.
And why
not? They disrupt everything, and they think they know everything. They're the first to talk in the group. They will shoot down other people, and it's just not a good place for them. There's other organizations that take them and they work well, but just for me, no thanks.
Yeah. And that's okay, because saying no is a good thing, because it helps both you and them.
Absolutely.
Because they can find that group that helps them.
That's right. And I've got my first duty is to the members of the group I have. And I know that can destroy a group.
How important is learning for entrepreneurs?
Oh God, you've got to be learning every day. There's always new things. Look what's happening with technology right now and AI. And even if you have no idea of what that is, you better find out, and you better be learning and watching for new things you could put into your business and make it a tool for you. You've got to always be developing your soft skills. Your people are the most important thing you have. They're your biggest asset. So you have to take really good care of them, and you want people to want to work at your company, and people that don't leave your company unless they're the wrong fit, and then you can help them make that decision.
Well, you just scored huge points with me, because I talk all the time. Everybody in the world is in the people asset business, from a pastor at a church to Vistage coach to this guy selling orange soap.
Right.
People assets, they go up when you take care of them, money. They go down when you don't take care of them. And there's risk management involved. Like you just said, if they're not a fit, you've got to let them go, and it affects both of them.
Yeah, if you have high turnover in your company, it's a bad sign, but it's also a huge money suck. It costs a lot of money to hire a new person and train them.
Right. And that's where you could come in at Vistage and your coaches, your group. I come in as new and go, guys, I'm hemorrhaging money.
Right.
I'm hemorrhaging employees. Boom. Then the group gets together and goes, here's some solutions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's look at it. Tell us what's going on, let's, how's your hiring practices in the first place? What do you do to vet your candidates? How do you treat them? What's going on? Do you have middle management that are totally impossible to work with? Or do you have really good ones? I mean, you got to look at the whole bunch of stuff there to come to knowing what your turnover is all about. But to replace people, It's the cost. Nowadays, everybody's using a recruiter because it's so hard to find good people. That's a huge cost. And then after that, you've got to train them. You got to onboard them first, then you got to train them. It's going to be at least 6 months before they become productive. That 6 months is a money loser. And then if they don't stay, then you got to do it all over again.
Those are wild stats, and they're growing every day.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end here, but we talked before the show, and I love your answer. We talk about life balance, life business balance.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on life and business?
Life and business is, you gotta, if you're the leader of the company, you gotta treat your people well, treat your customers well, in your family. Life balance, you cannot be an effective leader in a company if you have a terrible home life. So in Vistage, we work on the whole person because it's a very holistic thing. You cannot separate your personal life and your business life. It's impossible. So that's why we work on a lot of personal stuff too.
That's powerful, because we hear that message all the time, but people are still doing it. They're fighting with their wife when they get home, they come to work and they're pissed. We all know the scenario. So thank you for that message.
Yeah.
That's so important. Can we have a little fun? I want to have
Sure.
some fun with you.
Great.
Really cool question. So, Bob, we got a restaurant set up. You're going to a restaurant. It's a table of four. Okay,
Right.
you're in one seat. You got 3 empty seats.
Mhm.
Dead or alive, who would you invite, and what food would you order?
Oh, that's a great one. I would love to invite, gosh, who are my business heroes? Jack Welch would be interesting, just to get his take on things. For your younger people, he was the CEO of General Electric. General Omar Bradley. I've had drinks with him in the past, and he's quite an amazing man. He was big in World War II, one of the top ranking generals. Another one would be Tony Robbins. Would be fun.
Yeah.
Just to see his take. Simon Sinek would be cool to have him there.
Yeah.
A lot of the authors, I think, would be awesome. And the business leaders, somebody I can't remember the guy that ran Intel, but he might be fun.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember his name either. Yeah, that would be a good one. What an eclectic group. I just found out that word. I know that word, but people are using that.
And what would we order?
Yeah.
God, whatever they wanted to.
What's your favorite food? Well, if you had a choice of food, what would you order?
I would order, I love pasta, so probably a big pasta dish.
Amen to that. You're speaking to an Italian. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been great. I've got notes here. I hope you people are listening, audience are taking some notes. If they want to reach out to you, learn more about Vistage or learn more about you, Bob, how can they find you?
My email address is bob.carruthers, and that's C-A-R, well, it's in front of you, CARROTHERS. Bob.carruthers at Vistage Chair, VISTAGE, that's V is in Victor, and then chair, CHAIR, all one word.com.
Oh, I love it. So, audience, reach out and leave a note on he's going to go on YouTube here probably Monday. This is Friday. Comment on it. Give him some thoughts, good or bad. I want to hear it. I know Bob would want to hear it because we've been around a while.
I would love it.
Yeah, that would be, and I'll get the information to him. So if he can't see it, I'll definitely pass it on via email.
Okay.
And I want to remind everybody, my TV show every Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Together We Serve. It's on Roku, Apple TV, Samsung, all those TV streaming services. See this big giant head on your 70-inch TV screen. But it'll be fun. I trust me. You won't get sick of my head because I won't always be there. But do that. And me and Bob really want to thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day.